with just 300 days remaining until CAT 2024, there are 4 primary skills that you will have to work upon. So at the beginning, focus on gaining conceptual clarity. Take random numbers, add them, subtract them, multiply them, divide them. You should not be focusing on speed. You should be focusing instead on conceptual clarity. Hi everyone. With just 300 days remaining until CAT 2024, many of you might be thinking, what is the best preparation plan for the data interpretation and the logical reasoning section, which has consistently been challenging since the last 3 years? This is what I'm here to help you with. So first of all, of course, your preparation should not be random at all. It should be very systematic. So let us consider this question very analytically and let us try to break down your preparation into 4 distinct phases. So in the first phase, which should last for around 40 days, you have to develop the fundamental skill set required in order to do well in this section. So you know that every strong structure requires a solid foundation, and this is the phase that will build a strong foundation in order for you to do well in DILR. So there are 4 primary skills that you will have to work upon. So the first skill that you have to work upon is calculations and approximations, which is very important for the data interpretation questions. So use the concepts and the tricks we have taught in the speed maths lecture. Take random numbers, add them, subtract them, multiply them, divide them, then become familiarized with the squares from 1 to 30, with the cubes from 1 to 15, convert percentages to fractions, fractions to percentages, and all of this will definitely help you become better at calculations and approximations. So the second skill that you have to work upon is gaining a command over the basic mathematical concepts, such as percentages, ratios, averages, and equations, because all of these are often useful in the data interpretation and even in the logical reasoning questions. So at the beginning, focus on gaining conceptual clarity, understand the basics, and then you can move on to the tricks and the shortcuts. The good part is that this will go hand in hand with your QA preparation. The third skill that you have to work upon is data observation and comprehension. For this, you can study the graphs which are present in economic newspapers and business magazines. You can analyze the different types of graphs such as bar graphs, line graphs, pie charts, mixed graphs, and so on. Practice compiling the data in a tabular form and then making meaningful deductions from that data. For example, if you have data about the revenue of a company in different years, what you can do you can try to deduce in which year was there the highest percentage growth in revenue, in which year there was the lowest percentage growth in revenue, and so on. The fourth skill that you have to work upon is developing your reasoning skills. For this, you have to solve a lot of puzzles so that your brain becomes habituated to interpreting the information systematically. There are various means to do this. You can solve puzzles from books by Shakuntala Devi and George Summers. You can use apps like Brain Bashers and Elevate. Or you can also play games like Sudoku and Kakuro. Now, Sudoku and Kakuro especially, they can be very useful in many different sets because many of these questions that you come across in DILR, they use the logic that is there in Sudoku and Kakuro. In the second phase, which should last for around 80 days, now that your fundamentals are in place, you should expose yourself to a wide variety of DILR questions. So you should solve questions from all the different topics like arrangements, grouping, tournaments, and so on. Keep picking up a topic and solving all the different types of questions you can find within that topic. For example, in arrangements, there can be questions where people are sitting in a straight line. There can be questions where people are sitting around a table. Then all the people might be facing the center of the table, or some people might be facing away from the table also. Then there might be conditions like no 2 males are sitting together, and so on. So practice all the different types of questions that you find in every topic. And at this stage, you should not be focusing on speed. You should be focusing instead on conceptual clarity. Make sure that you understand the logic for every set before you move on to the next set. In the third phase, which will last for around 90 days, you have to focus on building your speed. So this will happen through consistent test taking, which will make you habituated to solving questions quickly under the pressure of a timer. The different types of tests that you can take are the SimCats, which are the full-length mocks, and also the section tests, apart from, of course, the benchmarking tests, module tests, and so on. And in this phase, even when you solve a question outside of a test, you should be setting a timer yourself, maybe of 12 minutes, 15 minutes, and adhering to that timer with the same discipline that you would have to within a test. Also, after taking each test, you will need to analyze it in order to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and also to understand what mistakes you are making so that you can learn from them and not repeat them. One more thing you can do is bookmark the best questions so that you can solve them again before the CAT. In the fourth and final phase, which will last for around 90 days, you have to bring it all together by solving the previous year's CAT papers. Now, of course, these are the best questions for you to practice, and after completing the previous 3 phases very diligently, you will be in a good position to tackle them. Solve the previous year's papers from 2003 to 2008 and also from 2017 to 2023. Keep in mind that the papers of the last 3 years should ideally be taken as full-length mocks. Along with this, you will also be solving very good questions from the masterclass workshops and of course through the SimCATs. So all of this should be completed at least 1 week before the CAT so that you can spend that last week revising all the topics and solving the best bookmarked questions again. And that's it. If you follow these 4 phases diligently and prepare consistently for the next 300 days, you will definitely be in a very good position to perform well in the DILR section of the CAT. Finally, all the links useful to your preparation are given in the description below the video. Please take a look at them, and if you have any queries, feel free to drop a comment and we will definitely get back to you.